and let me roll my opening credits, or my opening. While we're here, let's get some. In case you're wondering about the music, this is what's it called? This is all the DEFCON soundtracks. It's not the only music I listen to, but it's the only thing that I have on my hard disk, which is DRM free. So, and here we go. And we're back! This is G.I. the Wolfman. Jack is back to you with another episode of DEFCON 2 of Archvile and DEFCON 201. Today we have a special treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be playing NeoFeud, and right over here I have the creator of NeoFeud, Silver Spook. So, what's it called? I keep on talking about this video game, mostly because everyone's here, like, some of the big name releases, they kind of have like a lot of flashy lights and maybe things like adjustable penis size. But a lot of things, what really like a big theme of like that you have like in Cyberpunk, a lot of times from like, especially from the 80s, was like a lot of like social critique of kind of like how society's going. And I always kind of felt that like in like modern day Cyberpunk, a lot of people, especially, God forbid the people who joined like the subreddit, a lot of people who kind of got like too caught up on things like with like the neon lights and stuff like that, and like, a lot of people kind of like missed like the plot elements, and a lot of things it's like, and if they got the plot elements, the big thing I was missing, it's like they got too like really caught up in like the cars and like the guns, and then like the original Cyberpunk is that this is not really supposed to be cool. This is just like a dystopia. This is kind of like a hell. This is like a hellscape. It's not like a blueprint for society. It's kind of written more like a horror, almost like 1984. So I think a lot of people kind of missed that. So it was, one of the people who didn't miss that, obviously, who's kind of bringing like that aspect back to its roots, is Silver Spook, and he wrote this game called NeoFeud. It's a point and click adventure. Okay, so I guess tell us more about yourself in this game over here. In this game. Hold on 1 second. The audio kicked out. 1 second. You're gonna have to. Let me. All right. Looks like.
We're back.
All right. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. So, anyways, hey everybody, I'm Silver Spook. I am a Native Hawaiian activist. Defender of Mauna Kea, our sacred mountain here in the Big Island of Hawaii. That's what that shirt's about. And I'm also an indie game developer. I work for a variety of large and small game companies, corporations, governments, nonprofits. But NeoFeud is a game that I basically made that's all about my life and my personal experiences. I had a really big 56 tweet thread specifically about NeoFeud. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can go check out at Silver Spook Guy, and or I should probably share that around. But NeoFeud is a game that reflects my life as a cyberpunk dystopia, and like I didn't call NeoFeud Cyberpunk Hawaii 2009, but that's what it actually is living as a ghettoized person of color, working for $12 or $7 an hour, living in a van in a Mazda Tribute, eating spoonfuls of peanut butter for dinner, and trying to help kids stay out of gangs and off of drugs and be on better opportunities and not wind up in the prison industrial complex, which is where most people from my neighborhood are from, which is the not so nice side of the coconut trees in Hawaii. So that's really the backstory behind NeoFeud, but I don't front load it with that. It is about the kind of quote unquote high tech, quote unquote low life world in which we are living half a mile from billionaires. I mean, literally, Larry Ellison just moved to Hawaii, so go screw yourself, CEO of Oracle, who bought Lanai for $330 million 10 years ago. But that's where I'm from, is billionaires. I worked for 3 different billionaires. They're all terrible. They all pay me garbage. For the CEOs of the real world Militech, and that's a lot of what NeoFeud is about. And I have always kind of had a streak where I like a lot of cyberpunk. I love all. I'm friends with William Gibson. I literally interviewed William Gibson on a podcast like a couple years ago, and I met my wife through the William Gibson message board. Watch all the Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, you name it. I spent a lot of time going back through a lot of cyberpunk books and looking for references, because I kind of do basically satire of cyberpunk in a kind of Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams sort of a way. Basically, my perspective on cyberpunk and what it's kind of missing, especially nowadays, as our host has said, it's kind of getting caught up in the aesthetic with big capital letters and the flying cars and the sleeveless jean jackets and the cool cyber arms, the retractable 50 caliber Gatling guns, and running 35 miles per hour with Gazelle adamantium legs and all this nonsense. And I'm like, let's talk about like actual punk. Is this cyber bougie or is this cyberpunk? Is this cyber suit? Is this cyber Jeff Bezos? What are we doing here? Right? Let's talk about what are the realities on the ground, like where we're living in poverty. 300,000 people just died from COVID-19, and 3 people made, a handful of billionaires made $800 billion. Let's deal with reality here. Let's not run away into escapist, Grand Theft Auto with 80s retro future fantasy land for childish people who should know better. Anyway, so that's kind of where I come from, and that's NeoFeud. Terminus Machina, my Deus Ex Total Conversion, which you may have heard of if you play a lot of Deus Ex. It's famous to cyberpunk game made in the 2000s. Those are my 2 big games. I work for big game companies. I don't care about the Flappy Bird Clone 76 that I made. I don't care about. I literally worked on one of the Windows accessories, like Solitaire, game. Give a crap if anybody plays that. I don't want you to play that. I made more money working on that game than NeoFeud. I barely made. I think I've made a total of like $31,000 over 3 years from NeoFeud. Anyway, so I gotta go on that for a long time. So I'm gonna stop, and you can.
All right. So all right. So we've heard about this. So let's jump in. One of the hacks here is this is a Windows game. But let's actually here. But what I have here now, this is Steam. I'm running here Steam on Arch Linux. So one of the glorious things about Steam is not only does it work with wine, they have their own wine fork called Proton. So if you go here down on Steam Play, you can enable Steam Play for supported titles, and you can put it on other titles. Right now we're using Proton 521 GE, which is glorious. This guy named Glorious Eggroll has a few forks. He added a few extra things, a few compatibility for more games. Where's my library? All right. Right. Oh, right here, library. All right, there's an update. Hopefully this doesn't take too long.
Is that on Steam? Oh.
Yeah, it's on Steam. So I guess you regularly push updates to this?
I haven't really done too many updates, so yeah, that's weird.
No, it's literally really wants me to push a what's it called, a gigabyte update to this game. But Anyway, so here we are, right here in Jersey City. Like the whole kind of cyberpunk aesthetic, like right here in Jersey City. I don't know if Sidepocket's told you much about like this place right here. Last time I was kind of half monitoring a conference call with the EFA, which is the Electronic Frontier Foundation's kind of user arm, where kind of everyone gets together and everyone kind of like does like local things in like their city, and we kind of like all report back to that. Are you familiar with them, the EFF?
It's Electronic Frontier Foundation. Yes, I know of them. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So we're doing stuff like that. So I kind of half monitor the stream, half monitor that. Anyway, we live in a city called Jersey City, which again, several years ago used to be like really bad neighborhood. These days, like a lot of crime has gone down, but it's still. If you hear in the background sirens, that's Jersey City. Um, So again, but at the same token, it's like they still have like there's like basically three wards. Like you describe like Jersey City in a nutshell, is you kind of have like the financial district to go along the waterfront. They just kind of like bulldoze the whole thing. They put up these skyscrapers, and then you have like the financial there, and then like past there you have the hipster district, and past the hipster district, kind of where we live, is still kind of the hood. So unlike Hoboken, Jersey City actually kind of did make the effort to like not kick all the poor people out, which is kind of nice. So here we go. Here's NeoFeud.
Hopefully, it's good. You ran it before on Steam.
So yeah. So we're out here in Jersey City. We try to do like good things over here.
Yeah.
All right. Says it's ready to launch. All right.
Yeah. Should be good.
Should be good. Let's.
Yeah, like NeoFeud, if you do get it on itch, it does have just a standalone where you can play without the DRM. Like old school. As long as it runs on your computer, it will run.
Yeah.
If you want to get it that way.
So while this is loading, that's what you called. Share us your thoughts on DRM, if you could.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, I'm not super up to date on all like what the modern systems are running. I mean, to be honest, my computers don't really. I have some pretty old computers, like 5-10-year-old laptops, and they weren't new at the time, so I'm not all up to date on that. But I do think that like I think like having the option to not have it on your game is a good thing if you can manage to do that. And I understand like if some people are making games in Unity. I don't know their policies. I know it's much more involved, and there's a lot more what do you call they have more options to publish to other consoles and a variety of systems. NeoFeud has made an adventure game studio, which is a kind of ancient, it's an old engine that was made for LucasArts Sierra era point and click adventure games. And so it's kind of a unique engine. You can kind of I was actually using an old version of it to make NeoFeud, so it does easily run without DRM. If you just want to, you can just have a file on your computer and it'll run as long as the computer is compatible, the operating system is compatible. So yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's kind of my basic stance. Yeah.
All right. So this isn't going for some reason. So let's actually restart Steam. And see if we can get this. Should be able to run. I had it running.
You had it running? Okay.
So here we go. Play button. There we go. And not gonna go.
What is this in there? Oh. Yeah, this is part of the point-and-click adventure game. How to get the game to run.
Yeah, this is always like the adventure. Since this is kind of like almost like always on my show. It's like half the fun is that you run Arch Linux, which is kind of like the hard like Linux hard mode, and then half the show is me playing the game. The other half the show is just me like scrambling around like, how does this work? How does this work? You kind of broke something here. So latest live update just broke something, and now you go fix it. You go fix whatever broke because this is Linux. You get the full Linux. It doesn't work on Linux support. So.
Oh no.
Oh no. Arch is what they call a live distro or a rolling release, which means instead of just kind of vetting packages properly, in the latest version they just dump it in the repos and updates.
Said this will still most likely run better than Cyberpunk 2077 via capture card.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we're not looking for a repeat of this. Hopefully. Cross your fingers. Switch the version of the Windows emulator backend and
I mean the requirements for, oh go ahead.
1 second, cross your fingers. It's going. Come on. So it's working last time. I mean, this is basically a supercomputer. I have 2 AMD RX 580s. I have 5 storage devices. I have a Threadripper 1920, like 64 gigabytes of RAM. This is just not.
Yeah, the requirements for NeoFeud are like it's like 2006 computer. Like
yeah,
fine.
but and then there's the overhead because you run on Linux.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not even that. It's not even if the computer can run it. It's kind of is. All right, looks like we have a question in chat. So while this is running.
Okay. Yeah. So Prototype Raven says, I would like to ask an off-the-wall question. Have you ever played older point-and-click adventures like Harvester and The Longest Journey? Have played some Harvester. Like I have them off and I'm a Scream. If you like, Colin Ellison is kind of like that was definitely a classic. Dark Seed. A lot of those are kind of inspirations. I to be honest, I didn't start. I was not like I wasn't like a native to point and click adventures in the 90s. I kind of came to them later through some of the Wadget Eye games, which are kind of like Techno Babylon, Primordia. These are kind of like they came out in the noughties, but they were kind of going back to the 90s era, but updated stories and and that and then I went back and played a bunch of those older games. The Blade Runner video game. So speaking of Cyberpunk, that was one of the famous point and click adventure games, which is very good. And Beneath a Steel Sky, obviously, one of the great Cyberpunk point and clicks. So the answer is yes. Yeah.
All right,
what made you go in the?
Oh no, go ahead.
Really, what made you go in the point and click realm for your game direction? So the reason why I made NeoFeud point and click, like I was kind of saying earlier, I was kind of alluding to it in a kind of a spiraling sort of way. I had worked in game. I've been making games for probably 20 years at this point. Like I started modding like Half-Life 1 in late 90s, and
here we go.
Doom. Going? Yes. Okay.
Yes, it was alive. Very ominous, kind of like late 90s music. Hold on one second.
Yeah, we're not getting audio from the game. Or are we?
Okay, what's it called? We're getting it on stream. 1 second. Wait, hold on. All right, we're getting it on stream as long as we kind of let me. Oh yeah,
anyway,
let's turn the music down a little bit. Hold on, let's see. Let's see, pulse. Let's bring this up. Let's turn the volume down a little bit. NeoFeud. Let's Let's turn the volume down to about half.
Yeah, if you turn the volume up in the game settings, it might actually help because sometimes it cuts the music all the way out. Yeah, and then turn it down in your mixer. Probably.
Okay,
better.
yeah. Okay. All right, so save game. All right. All right, so here we go. Very nice. Very. Even the music is like a real good, like kind of like late 80s or like really mid 80s like aesthetic to it.
Well, yeah. Thanks. It's I definitely was going for a kind of a retro aesthetic. There's a lot of references to a variety of kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like kind of it's like you kind of noticed it's like, you know, like some of the stuff that was like in the 80s though, it's like everyone kind of laughed at the 80s was kind of like a joke. The point like I had to make about Cyberpunk is a lot of it, like, you know, as at times some of it aged really well. I mean, like especially like William Gibson, there's like a lot of hackers who like hated like the Neuromancer, right? And it's like, you know, they're like, yeah, Case is not like a real hacker. But then like I was just like discussing that like 30 years later he's not really like a hacker like from the 80s. He's literally like a mid 2000s infosec dickhead. And like they nailed the character to a T almost. And like that type of character was being born about the time that the story was written. So I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. But like even like kind of like the backgrounds, kind of like everything. I'm like, wow, that's like all these people in like infosec. And like that is such a really great anti-hero. And you know, it didn't really resonate at the time because I guess, you know, that character really didn't exist yet. Another one's, if you kind of like go back in time and like you ever seen Max Headroom?
Yo, Max Headroom, yeah.
So like it's like go back and watch some of that one, and like he's got like an infrared camera and he's like lifting like keystrokes off of like a keypad, and like
Yeah.
that wasn't real. And then he's like using a computer to like guess the door combination. Like that wasn't real back then. It's like they do that now, and like all the plot lines, and it's like there's like the evil, you know, like there's like the Network 23 controls everything. Instead of a stock market, they have like ratings.
We are on the edge of a global meltdown.
Yeah.
When species is primed, we won't get another chance to ascend.
Singularity happens but once. The kingdom of heaven opened for an instant to the chosen.
Or perhaps we are Prometheus, moths to the flame.
I kind of like this. This is kind of like where you have, it's like the singularity. It's just like every like last like tech bro, like it's like, oh my god, the singularity. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like then there's like the singularity is going, if it happens like this, it's going to be like you literally will have like Terminators, and it will be for like the rich, and like the rest of us will be stuck in like kind of like Jersey City or kind of like your neighborhood in Hawaii. Or
Exactly. Yeah,
You know-
I'm glad you got that from the intro.
yeah, no, there's a lot. Like I love everything about it here, especially like his kind of like arm. It's like, you know, like the whole point is dystopia sucks. It's kind of like how,
have reached your maximum nicotinoid consumption.
you know, it's like you kind of like have like,
24 hours before.
or even like this guy's like cybernetic arm, which is like kind of cool, but it's like half cool. It's like it's like fucking broken. It's like kind of like all the tech when it's like arrives, it's broken, especially like if you're poor.
What the hell is
You know, it kind of like looks cool. You know, it's like kind of like
Yeah, look,
Where are we supposed to have the goddamn flying cars by now?
it looks cool till it breaks, and then you gotta, you know, and then there's no right to repair. You know, you're sitting
Yeah.
there with your $200,000 to get a new arm. That's it.
yeah. So you like kind of like a half working arm that has like some cool looking features. No, because like it,
So we're screwing up my butt.
yeah, and then you kind of have like your like 80s retro futuristic car, but it's like broken. You know, because you're not gonna have like a cool car. It's because it's gonna be fucking broken.
I mean, yeah, it's like you just got a future car, but 30 years old. You gotta duct tape it together.
Yeah.
and it doesn't start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I bring my mileage receipt?
My character's car is literally based on my car. My car was like that. It couldn't reverse. Yeah,
At
different
one,
color. Yeah,
at one point, I literally had two Ford Focuses sitting in a driveway when I lived further west. One was the one I drove. The other one was the parts car. I think I paid maybe about $2,000 for both of them combined. And then when one broke down, I was like,
Exactly.
fuck it. I called a charity. I had both of them hauled off. I'm like, this is like a dumb idea. But like that was so many times left on the side of the road, like the battery would, like something was short. There was a short in it, and if I couldn't get it working, it was like I was just stuck there.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember pushing a lot of cars like half
Oh.
a mile, and that was a common story.
Let's see. So let's go over this game here. We have like our character here is a social worker with a kind of like this half-functioning robotic arm. It does things like kind of drops things because it kind of like half functions. Let's see. Should be able to scan through my wallet. It's not going to work.
Oh yeah, you might have to grab it. Yeah, I think if you use the hand on the wallet.
There we go. Better get back. Oh, somebody took my card. That's right. That one previous scene where dropped it.
Have you played this before, or is it your first time?
I played a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to get you on stream. And we'll do it on stream because I want to be like, yeah, let's promote this game. So instead of kind of like, you talk about like all like gamers and like bad games, but let's like actually like promote like instead of like all these like big like like big commercial games. Let's actually promote like the game that's like made a game like this. It's made by kind of like by a little guy. It's kind of like it's especially like when I was a kid, I was really heavily involved like the punk rock scene. So it's like we always had this big like notion about like support your local artists and stuff, and then like stop buying from corporations to support your local artists. So it's like let's again let's like if you really want to be cyberpunks, let's support our local artists over here. Let's support like little guys struggling and making like these really awesome games that like really tell a better story.
Well, thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, I tell you one thing. I did not have any money for any marketing. I sold like $100 worth of games in the first month, and I was about to like not work on games ever again. So without people like you and everybody else, there would be no Silver Spook game.
And like that was like the whole point of the punk scene is no punk band ever had money for marketing, so they relied on all their friends buying the CD and telling everybody how cool it was, and then kind of like buying the T-shirt, and then just being like, yeah, this band. So hopefully, I mean, it's like you don't want to say like punk rock music too much. It's like we can kind of like take like that mentality. We can bring this into cyberspace here. We can do something cool.
Yeah, totally. That's yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So okay, so we have this like obnoxious little.
Hey, sweetheart. You happen to see a shiny little card lying on the ground?
Maybe.
And you're getting sassed by a 5-year-old. Is this something that happened to you? Did like you're working like social working and you're like, oh, this is like the sweetest looking little girl, and then she just like tries to hustle you? Is this like actual social work? Does this like really happen? It's like, oh, this is a cute kid. You're like, yo, give me $1. You're like, damn. I mean, like I know shit's hard, but damn.
Like I mean, when I was
Uh-huh.
yeah. Like, no, I mean, not specifically that character, but yeah, everything in NeoFeud is like based on like actual experience. This is like a lot of this is based on like the DMV and the sentient, the human services department, not the sentient services, obviously. But yeah, a lot of it is based. I had like 5th graders who did everything. I mean, I had 5th grade meth dealers. I had literal Grand Theft Auto students that they said, why am I even taking this class when I could be making $3,000, jacking Audis and selling off the parts?
And like
everybody
in 5th grade though, because you expect like teenagers to do this, right? But like 5th grade, you're like, I mean, obviously like I mean like hood is hood, but like that's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah.
All right, so wow.
Jobs on a stick.
But like that's awesome. Just like I said, like you see it like that, put it in the game. I mean, like because like that's again like that's real shit. That's like.
Yeah.
I think it's quid pro
oh yeah.
quo. Never mind. What do you?
I was playing a lot of Game of just as a fun aside. I was watching Game of Thrones at night, and I was like binging Blade Runner during the day. So that's like there's all these references to characters. Like My Pony Princess, feudalism is magic. It's like also how like a lot of the culture is propagated through television. So.
I saw that. I like that because it's just like especially it's like the one thing that kind of like makes me cringe from pop culture is like everybody's like super into Disney, right? And it's like everything about Disney. It's like the one thing that really bugs me about Disney is everything's about a princess, right? Everything's about princess and like monarchy, and you're like if people just like kind of like normalize like these kind of like reactionary social structures, and I'm like. I mean, I get like the United States isn't like kind of like the most advanced like nation, or we're not really built on much, but like monarchy, come on. So I mean, like that always kind of like weirds me out.
Yeah. So NeoFeud is kind of like, you take the three people that own as much wealth as everybody else combined, and then you just, why are we bothering wearing these suits and cufflinks? Let's just put the crowns back on. Let's just be kings again. Sit on thrones of stack $100 bills to the size of a stadium.
Okay, so we have the wallet open, and then we have so nuclear winter fresh. That's great. It's like the one thing I do miss about the '80s, is that like. Is that kind of okay? So the gum. I have gum in my inventory. Okay, so she wants some gum.
Okay, princess, here's your gum. Now where's my consciousness card?
Oh, yay! Thanks, mister. Nuclear winter, my favorite flavor.
Merry Christmas.
Actually, hold on. Where's the pulse? Where's the volume? Let's actually turn this up a little bit.
Right. Well, I did see you drop the card on the ground when your robot arm started going crazy. Then that android lady in the purple shirt with hair that looks like an angry purple porcupine, I saw her snatch your card. I think she also bribed that trenchcoat hobo guy to cut in line.
Ah, thanks for the solid tip. What's your name, girl?
Starla.
Starla, huh? You drive a tough bargain, Your Highness. But at least you make good on your word.
A good pony princess always pays her debts.
Consider us square. I'll keep an eye out on lifestyles of the trillionaires and famous for your expose.
Alright, so there's a few other characters here. Cripple Hendrick. Oh, one second. Is that a Jimi Hendrix reference? Cripple Hendrix?
Yes.
Okay, because like
he's got the Jimi Hendrix bandana.
Yeah, because I know the reference here, because this guy was.
How you holding up, Marine?
Because I know what's it called? Jimi Hendrix was actually in like the 82nd Airborne before he kind of got out of it to start a band. And he was given the option of kind of join the army or go to jail. So.
No shit. You were in Operation Screaming Talon? I thought all you Model X800s
Terminator
were melted into hot slag when
Terminator
the
reference.
bombs leveled the city.
T100, X800.
Lost my leg to a depleted uranium round and cooked my motherboard. But I'm reformed, friend. I've opened up my third eye. War, huh? What is it good for?
Keeping the bullet farmers in business, I guess.
Ah, don't get me started on the military-industrial complex. Makes me just want to terminate every last one of those. Happy place. Happy place. Hey, you stay righteous, my good buddy. Flower power.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Huh? Ah, namaste, my brother.
Alright, so.
Keep up the good fight, soldier.
No fate but what we make, brother. So let's make it a sweet one.
Alright, so. Let's go talk to the lady in the purple.
Hey, what you want?
Yeah, like a lot of the characters in this scene, you can definitely, there's definitely a lot of references to a variety of cyberpunk characters.
Oh, definitely. You have the Terminator. Oh yeah, let's actually go back because I played through like the first half of this. Let's actually look a few more at these characters here, because especially here, Major Armitage. This is again from William Gibson. This is again more Neuromancer.
Hey, you happen to see a consciousness card around here?
I don't know if that. I don't think the guy talks too much, but this is definitely a Major Armitage.
Yeah, what's his deal? Is he like he's like part kangaroo?
It's kind of like Splice.
Oh, so he's
Military.
so he's like military splice. So he was an officer, and then they kind of spliced him, and then they kind of kicked him out because they don't need like half kangaroos. Is that a tank? Is that a tank? Is that a tank girl reference? If you don't mind me asking, is that a tank girl?
Oh yeah, the kangaroo. What were those guys? Yeah, the genetically engineered super soldiers that can run super fast. Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of like spliced with kangaroos. I actually years ago.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so let's talk to her.
Hey, what you want?
You seen a consciousness validation card around here by any chance?
Nope, just me own one. Sorry.
You better give me my consciousness validation card back now before I report your spunky little punk ass to your parole officer.
Piss off, copper. I ain't doing nothing wrong.
So is this something that like happens to like it's like you're poor, you're not a cop, but like you're working for like the city and trying to help people. Do they still like steal or like screw with you anyway? I mean, is that like something that like really happened as like a social worker?
If they think you're a cop or something?
Yeah, or do they still kind of like treat kind of treat you like?
Look.
I mean, do they still kind of treat you like an authority figure, like kind of like an obstacle? I mean, is that like something that like?
Slave whose job it is to help out.
I mean, because that's got to be rough, man.
Machines like yourself, get back on their feet.
like.
But I can't do
Yeah,
my
I mean, part of the
job
trick,
unless
it's like,
get
I mean,
my
part of like
consciousness
when I got
validation.
hired, they said, you're the only,
So
or not the only
please,
person, but
help me
I kind of look like the
help
people in the area that I was working with. Like a lot of the kids are, Pacific Islander. I mean, in Hawaii, it's kind of disproportionately Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiians, Filipinos, Southeast Asians that are like at the bottom of the barrel. Like they live, 16 and a half, living in poverty. $5,000 is the average income for a lot of these peoples. And so, they're definitely like untrustworthy of people that are like can't speak like the broken English. Like the characters in this game that speak like slangs, it's somewhere between like LA, New Jersey. Like a lot of them just kind of ape Ice Cube and Kanye West sort of stuff because that's what they have. They have Tyler Perry and they have like gangsta rap, and then they have this kind of pidgin English, which is the older Hawaiian amalgam from plantation era days. And if you can't talk like that, they will often like look at you like, well, I'm not, they will kind of ice you out. So that I'm from the area, so I can play that up. I'm going like, I'm not gonna do it right now on the stream. But, well, maybe if I have another drink, I'll do that. But
yeah,
it can be a trick. Yeah, getting rapport with the people. Yeah.
Okay, so I was just asking. I mean, like I live on the other side of the coast. I've never been to California. I've never been to Hawaii. I've never been like that side of the coast. I just kind of like know what I know like in Jersey City. So my background is I'm Ashkenazi Jew. Like all my friends growing up were either like Italian, Sicilian, or Irish, one of those combination, or Puerto Rican. So it's like we can also have like kind of like a mix of like ethnicities here. So it's like I know how it is. It's like kind of like a mix of things, but. So let's see where we're going here. We have
I ain't no cop, sweetheart. I'm a sentient services social worker. I hand out food stamps and housing to needy machine peoples just like you.
Just as I thought. Well, I'm a sentient machine, mate, and I have sentient rights, like the one to remain silent. I ain't telling you nothing.
I would say like this part, I never actually had this situation happen to me. Yeah.
Because it almost sounds like effed up. Because like you're putting like the character's put in a hard place. It's like you don't want to be mean to her, but like it's like your character has a shitty car, a shitty job. You have to do something here. It's like, you got to eat too.
I mean that's a major theme I wanted to kind of put forward is that you have a lot of. There's no good choice in a real dystopia. It's not as cool as you think. It's not just running around shooting laser shuriken out of your every orifice. And also, you make really bad decisions. There's no like the good ethical decision. Like, am I gonna hurt myself today, or am I gonna like use my authority to hurt someone else? That's the kind of crappy decision.
That's exactly like kind of like New Jersey. It's like growing up in New Jersey, like very much the same way. It's like when I describe New Jersey, everyone here is running a scam of some sorts. And everything here kind of feels scamish. So it's like kind of like your dystopian. It's just like kind of like there's nobody's really the good guy. and there's like very much shades of gray here, and then you kind of like, you know, I mean, you don't want to be the bad guy, but you have to kind of like.
I ain't no cop. You know this.
You don't want to get caught between.
You don't have to do every. You don't have to do every line in that one.
You're looking at least
the last one is pretty hard.
Yeah. Corrections.
That's bullshit, Piggy. And stay away from my hardware. I know how this entrapment game works. Plant some illegal downloads in my neural drive, then cuff me for piracy.
Uh-oh. Now we have...
Oh, if you ever played Deus Ex, the trench coat dude is definitely a send up of that.
Deus Ex, I haven't actually played that game.
But yeah,
So do you have to go all the way back around to talk to the security guy?
Yeah, I think you can't walk through that line. You're gonna have to go back around, yeah.
Okay. You can't cut the humans line. Clever.
Yep. You're a mere cyborg. You're half robot. You're not full human. You know.
You're not full human, so like as much as you still work here. All right, let's talk to.
Officer, I'd like to report a theft. I have reasons to believe that woman in the purple shirt stole my consciousness validation card.
Do you have probable cause? Any evidence to support your accusation?
Check CCTV footage of the lobby, 8:47 a.m. The all-seeing eye of the state will have caught her red-handed.
Downloading footage now. Right, I have visual confirmation of the theft. HQ, we've got a 484 requesting backup. Suspect is possibly armed and dangerous. Request authorization to use lethal force. Engaging now.
Lethal force? She's a petty robo-thief, not a chrome path anti-human terrorist with a thermion bomb strapped to her chest. Isn't that a little overkill?
You can never be too careful with these robot types. Do you want me to engage the suspect or not?
Oh, sorry.
Is this like more stuff
away.
that you see with like the cops? Is that like somebody's obviously done something wrong, and you're like, okay, like you stole like a candy bar or something, and like, you want them like. I mean, they have to get punished some way, but you don't want them like shot or like sent for like jail for 20 years. You're like,
freeze.
Yeah,
the
just
right to a trial by firing squad.
Oh, like that.
What?
Yeah. It's definitely
okay. Don't shoot.
Something tells me Officer John Wayne here hasn't had proper use of force police training. Budget cuts being what they are and all.
Get on the ground now. Any thoughts, memories, or neural data in your wetware is now property of Coastlandia City.
You ready to talk, Riot Girl?
Okay. Just get this jackbooted psycho off me.
You know what, officer? I think I made a mistake. I just found my card under my virtual gym membership. Sorry for the mix-up.
Huh? Oh, okay then. Carry on.
You know, the Coastlandia courts will automatically convict any non-human robot we throw in front of them. The CFC is a rough place, especially the sentient machine subdivision. Chrome gangs in there will take you apart, circuit from gear, break your pretty little fingers off and grind them into shanks. Just give me my card back and you can forget this ever happened.
Just because I'm made of silicone and aluminium, I must be doing something wrong. That's machine stereotyping, that is.
That's reality, that is. Machines are second-class citizens. Now give me that card. Last chance.
Wait. Let's just say someone did take your card.
I'm listening.
Maybe she wasn't just a hardened criminal. Maybe she was just a girl in a tight spot with a kid to make her, you know?
I'd say she should have thought harder about the consequences for her kid before she started jacking IDs.
You're right. But let's say she'd been trying for a year for a job and no one wants to hire a robot. Last time she came to sentient services.
So okay, so here we definitely have.
They did a brain scan, and they denied her benefits because her neurons didn't pass the sentience test.
That can't happen. If she's a thinking, feeling person inside and out, and not just a toaster. Well, the Gozo Takeda consciousness test will show that.
That's a reference to like what from
Star Galactica.
Oh, okay. Because I said the test. That's the Void Conf test from like Blade Runner, where they ask emotions is like there's a turtle on its back.
I don't know. Even if you're right, I could get in.
Which
serious
Battlestar
trouble.
Galactica, the new one or the old
You're
one?
talking about impersonating another consciousness here.
I mean calling androids toasters.
Oh yeah, that's for like.
Well, I think both of them.
Oh yeah, with toasters. That's right, because of they used to call the Cylons used to call it,
She's trying, but sometimes she has to fudge things because she's got no other choice in this system. She's got a special mod chip to fool the brain scan machine. She'll owe you, big time.
I know I'm gonna regret this somehow. Probably wind up in jail with you. What the hell? This job is its own kind of prison, I guess. Gonna need that car back after, though.
Really? Thank you, mister.
Carl. Carl's just fine.
I'm Jessica. Thank you, Carl. You're doing the right thing here. Know that? If we only had more of your kind in the system, well, I think we'd all be better off.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go work on my jujitsu and my right hook now, in case we end up in the slammer. Good luck, Jezebel.
This part is it's gonna take a little bit, but this is important
to
scene.
get my consciousness validation card back.
Sign and date here and here.
This is definitely like any like bureaucracy.
What is this?
It's kind of like
The address.
it's like the banality
This
of
is the
evil.
location of a condemned housing project, which is
Yep.
converted to a landfill, not a real residence.
That definitely sounds like Chateau
I'm on
201
the
over
Section
here.
9 public housing waiting list at the moment.
Well, you'll need a
I like
legal
that pun. It's a
residence
pun
within
on
the next
Section
30
8
days or your
with
sentient machine benefits
Sector
may
9
be
or whatever
revoked.
that movie was.
So you'll
That's
say
cute.
I can't get assistance
Check that out.
unless I already have assistance. That's a catch-22. Utter horseshit. I have a kid.
Please lower your voice, miss. And that is not my problem.
I can't believe.
In order to be eligible for support, you will be required to pass a Gertzel-Takeda consciousness test. A score of 4.1 is required to confirm human-level sentience. Please note that
Where did you
individuals
get
scoring
Gertzel and
below
Takeda
a
from, if you don't mind me
4.1
asking?
may be classified as subhuman and may have their citizenship revoked and all property.
Also, kind of sounding like
confiscated
Girdle.
by the
I know
citizen
that this
of
Ben
Coastlandia.
Gertzel is
The
a dude.
consciousness
I didn't realize that.
requirement is waived for human applicants.
I forgot the other one.
This
Yeah.
is so messed up.
Please insert your cranium neural net or other synaptic substrate into the quantum encephalograph.
I can't believe I have to prove I'm a real person. This is so demeaning. Let's get this over with. Please work.
I like how they have like kind of like the machines like right in the front, kind of like an ID scanner.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Kind of a stand-in for the
Please score a
SATs and everything else, and
consciousness
Yeah.
quotient of 3.9. You qualify as a pet or livestock, however, not sentient enough to be considered a person.
This is an outrage. What am I supposed to do? I've got a little one. What will happen to him?
I'm sorry, ma'am. Regulations are regulations. You need a consciousness quotient of 4.1 and above to qualify as a fully conscious and sentient entity.
This isn't fair. These humans don't have to take a stupid test. What have they got that I don't?
Humans are sentient persons by default, ma'am. They have personhood by heredity.
What makes you so goddamn special just because you got the right double helix of DNA? This is that, what's it called? Anthrocentrism. Anthrocentrist bullshit.
Security, please escort this non-sentient humanoid imposter to the exit immediately.
Uh-oh.
Just as I thought.
Now it's
a
gonna get
thief and a terrorist.
difficult.
That's gonna get good.
Don't shoot! I'm unarmed!
Oh God, this isn't happening. This is not happening. Carbon, what have you got yourself into?
Maximus, hurts in nature. Okay. So, what kind of tools do you use to make like the art like assets in like the video game on this one? I think you were talking about this a little earlier.
Yeah, so with NeoFeud, yeah, again, I did like basically everything with the exception of about half of the voice acting. The art I did using Photoshop. It's basically just like an old version of Photoshop.
Uh-huh.
I kind of hand painted it in like layers, and then the animation is pretty simple, like 2D, like it's like old school like sprite sheets basically. And I had like a Wacom tablet I painted. I kind of just like have a bunch of layers, and it's like frame by frame, so it's not advanced. There's no bones, no 3D, nothing. It's pretty old school. But because I'm not. My art, I came to art last. That's probably what I have the least experience in. It's like music, programming, writing, and then art was last. So and that's part of why it's point and click, because it's easier for me.
All right, so I mean, like with the programming, it's like, so what is the game engine though? I mean, it's like no small feat. I mean, like making a game engine. I mean, even like a point and click one. I mean, like these were like more popular years ago. So like, what did you use like for like the actual nuts and bolts of the game engine?
Yeah, so the game engine is based on I didn't make the game engine is Adventure Game Studio, so it's a free engine. I forget if it's open source, but it's a free engine. You don't have to, it's not like Unity or Unreal. Nowadays you have like Unity, Unreal, where you can. There's a lot of built-in stuff to make the games, art assets, the engine itself, the collision, the physics, the AI. But AGS is it's kind of old school. It's done in like slightly above. It's not C++, but it's like like I think it's like a Java-ish, C# sort of language.
Okay.
But you do have to do coding. It's harder than like modern Unity or Unreal. You have to actually do a lot of the coding in that. But it's not I've coded in 3D games before, like Half-Life and Deus Ex. So it's not as much, but it does still take some.
I mean, like don't discount yourself. I mean, like a lot of stuff what I do is just like hacking, is just screwing around with Bash and Python scripts, which again is like a lot of people. It's just like Bash and Python scripts. A lot of Bash and Python scripts. If you're really interested in Bash and Python scripts, DC 201, we have a live feed tomorrow. Where we do our actual meeting. We go over like all the tech stuff, and usually have like more tech-oriented stuff. You get to see some more Bash and Python scripts. But anyway, let's see if we can get out of trouble here. We have Last Action Hero over here pointing a gun at her face.
Hey, buddy, your safety's on. You're not gonna terminate any terminators like that.
What? Oh, right.
All right, so he's still here.
Hey, who's that?
What?
Father, this gang's lost his marbles.
Hey, why is this safety on? That's better.
Jesus. Oh boy. Try again.
Yeah, you can. Luckily, you don't have to restart the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Let's see, figure out how we got. All right.
Hey, who's that behind you?
What?
All right, let's get the. No. Come on. No. This guy looks like.
Oh.
All right.
So he has his gun, the bullets, and then you have to figure out a way to neutralize.
Officer,
Okay.
you need to put that gun away right now. You're looking at least 2 weeks mandatory suspension for discharging your weapon without cause. They'll have your badge for shooting a sentient machine in a government office, giving the robot right activists another viral bot.
I can't imagine ever saying this to a cop.
Liberal media field day. Think about it.
So when I first moved in.
What the hell you're talking about? All I know is I'm taking this tin can scum in, dead, deactivated, or alive.
So I just remember, like, when I first moved into this neighborhood, right? I lived on the other side of Jersey City. So I moved in here. I didn't really know too much about this neighborhood. So moving in and walking back, like, what's it called? It's about like 1 in the afternoon. I have like this, like, I'm working like second shift, so it's like a day I'm off. So it's like 11th. It's like 1 in the afternoon. I'm just like walking back from the gym, and I take like a shortcut down this block I've never been before, and all of a sudden I have like 12 cops. I have like six cop cars, like one on the street. They have guns drawn on me. It's like me, and there's like this Russian walking next to me. It's like, everyone get your hands on the air, like freeze now. So, like, you know, the cops are like, "What are you doing?" And like, you know, the cop just goes through all my shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing an investigation." He's like, you know, "You're suspected of like buying heroin." I'm like, "Heroin?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, you know, like what you're, you know, just so you know. They go through all my shit. I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "Look, you're on that block. Like, don't come down this block ever again." So I couldn't imagine like you say like, "Hey, like, you know," you say something like other than like kind of like I can only imagine like I said something like that to like that cop. They probably would have shot me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, one thing we have to announce in this stream is we're giving away two copies of NeoFeud to listeners. What's it called? What's it called? Long time follower. Delusa Demona has won the first copy. We are giving away one more copy of NeoFeud to another lucky I'd say viewer, say listeners to use to old school 20th century rule of radio. So we'll be giving away one more copy, the deluxe version. So congrats to Delusa. And let's see if I can outsmart this cop over there.
Hey, who's that behind you?
What?
Come on. Oh, damn it.
So you got to figure out a way to
All right.
yeah, neutralize the dude. It's something in your inventory. I'll give you a hint.
Okay, inventory. Okay, inventory.
Always something in your inventory. Yeah. Inventory. Yeah, it's
I can't tell him to give a turn around and shank him. No, it's not gonna work. What's it over there?
There's no one there, you idiot.
All right.
good. That's a good guess.
All right. This one looks promising. Okay.
Hey,
What?
Figure out a way to charge it. Huh.
Yeah.
Got to charge the taser somehow. Oh, it's a wall socket.
There's no one there, you idiot. What the hell do you think you're doing? Get away from there.
Distracted long enough to charge my taser. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
hey, buddy, your safety's on. You're not gonna terminate any Terminators like that.
What? Oh.
Hey, who's that behind?
What?
All right, so it's just like a cell phone. It's like the batteries. It's like old and like the batteries.
There, you idiot.
The batteries.
Yeah, that's
crap.
part of the joke is the
Yeah.
battery lasts for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, because it's like an old cell phone battery. It's because like, you know, if you have like a broken cell phone because you're poor. Oh.
Hey, who's that behind you?
Already checked.
All right, so I do what it.
Hey, buddy, your safety's on. You're not gonna terminate any Terminators like
Yeah,
that.
so
What? Oh, right.
gotta remember like how many times you click the safety.
I remember that one. All right.
Time put your lights out.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's try this
Okay,
again.
so you almost got it. Just the safety must have been on, or safety was off. Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
What? Oh.
Never mind.
Hey, why is this safety on? That's better. What the hell do you think you're doing? Get away from there.
Okay. So, figure out a way to distract him long enough to charge the taser.
Hey,
What?
There we go. He's looking the other way. Charge the taser. Awesome.
There's no one there.
You'll get it. Yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all right.
hey, who's that behind?
Already checked. There's no one there.
All right.
Hey, buddy, your safety's on. You're not gonna terminate any Terminators like that.
What? Oh, right. Thanks. Get your head back down.
Hey, who's that behind you?
Already checked.
Ah. Am I stuck?
Yeah. I mean, like, did you get shot again? I'm just waiting for this.
Okay, so he only turns around once, but you have to turn around to tase him, and you have to turn around to charge this.
Oh, no. You can shoot him. You can shoot him while he's facing you, but you have to make sure safety's on.
Time put your lights out.
Hey, what the hell is wrong with this gun?
It doesn't belong in the hands of a trigger-happy speciesist yahoo pretending to be a cop.
What?
Your safety's on, idiot.
Yes!
There you go. You fought the law and you won.
I fought the law, and I won.
I've got skin in this game too. If they caught you with my card, I'd be axed from my SS gig. However shitty and humiliating it may be, I need the money. I am gonna need that car back, of course.
Right.
You'd better get going. I'll make a self-defense claim. The Coastlandia government will want to avoid being dragged through the mud by the media. Another untrained, unstable cop opens fire in government office is a bad meme during election cycle.
Yeah, I'm used to laying low. Don't worry about me.
Yeah. Take care of that kid.
I'll figure something out. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Anyway, thanks. Not a whole lot of people give a shit about sentient machines nowadays.
Not a whole lot of people give a shit about anything.
I'll be seeing you, Carl.
See ya, Jezebel. What a goddamn mess. Good morning.
So this is my office that I used to work in.
Carl Carbon speaking.
All right.
Carbon, you're the CPS Nazi bastard that took my baby, ain't you? Well, you can go to hell. Unfit mother my ass.
Ma'am, please calm down.
I know where you live, asshole. My baby daddy's gonna cap your ass with his gold-plated Uzi.
Ma'am, there's really no reason to. Only one death threat this morning? Wow, it's shaping up to be a light day.
Very, very 1980s soundtrack.
I was trying to conjure my inner Vangelis, if you've ever seen Blade Runner.
So pen. There we go. So this music, I mean, where did you get the music from? Is it, did you produce the music? I mean, did you get it from somewhere else? Did you
Yeah, the music is I composed like virtually all the music in this, with the exception of like one track. I basically composed it all. Took a long time, took about a month, and most of it's like made in Ableton Live. Like I said, I've been doing music a long time, and I did some composition like in college, and so yeah, took about a month. And I initially I had a friend that was like kind of did a lot of like noise, like Nine Inch Nails sort of atmospheric stuff, and I asked him to kind of help me with the soundtrack, but then it wasn't quite gelling the way I wanted it to, because I wanted each scene to kind of have a very specific theme. So I just kind of did it myself.
Cool. I mean, like a lot of times, like with audio, people like a lot of estimate like how much audio like sets like can like set the tone, like how much like the special like even like how well the special effects go with like whatever, or especially how well it's just like even like the music really sets the tone of the rest of the video game. It's very much like like other mediums at this point. Like a video game, depending on the format, it can be a movie, it can be a comic book. This one kind of has like a really like indie comic kind of feel, which I kind of like. It's like you don't necessarily,
Yeah. That's definitely what I was going for. I wanted it like the whole thing is very satirical, and I kind of like like Monty Python, or really a lot of William Gibson stuff was very satirical. You can read it as a comedy. Johnny Mnemonic, fun fact, the original cut was a comedy, and so I wanted to kind of play up those kind of that kind of
I mean,
kind
like
of surreal.
No, sir.
Yeah.
I mean,
like a lot of like Cyberpunk was already comedy.
I was just finishing up the last TPS report.
I mean, like especially it was like a lot of Cyberpunk really hallmarked by very dark humor.
Favorite delinquent robot kid today. What's his name?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He was MIA at his parole hearings, counseling sessions, night classes. Got picked up yesterday for assaulting a robotic police officer.
Son of a bitch. He's gangbanging with the robo-ballers or the chrome boys again. I mean, sorry, sir. The boy's a real loose cannon.
He's your loose cannon, Carbon. You're his social worker, so socialize him. He's a humanoid, and you're practically half toaster yourself.
Oh, wow.
Vintage mech arm. Be a father figure or some shit.
I'll do my best, sir.
Okay, I see where you got this from. Being
fun request for a new cyberarm went through. The actuators are shorting out on this one, and it almost caused a car crash. It's hurting my productivity.
Oh, denied, Carbon. Budget crunch has a Coastlandia city in a tight spot. Last time I checked, you're a goddamn ex-cop pariah, dishonorably discharged, lucky to have a meal ticket and a roof above your head.
My roof is a piece of corrugated polycarbon, sir, and it leaks. Hey, didn't the city report a $50 billion surplus last fiscal quarter?
That was before the tax cuts, the subsidies for hypertech, and the rest was used for that new country club arcology. Tough nails, Tin Man. Just handle your client.
Yes, sir. What an asshead.
I take it you had conversations like that with your boss? Or
Oh yeah, no, for sure. But Vic, why are your shoes have holes in them, or why is your shirt have coffee on? And I'd be like, well, I make enough money to pay for like living in a car, so pay me some. No, we're not gonna pay you. Just figure it out. Yeah.
Snow-capped paperwork mountains.
Yeah.
That definitely sounds like a tough spot, man.
No, like I bring it up like while I was making NeoFeud, like not the whole time, but for a portion of it, we were literally living in a car. I was living in a van. It's $1,500 for a 1-bedroom next to a meth lab above the highway. I'm not joking. Where I'm from, it's the ghetto. It's the ghetto. It's $2,000 is the average 1-bedroom.
Jesus. I mean, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop complaining about. I'm gonna stop complaining about this neck of the woods. That's pretty much almost Manhattan level prices.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like Honolulu, Hawaii. It's like Manhattan in the tropics, but the wages are like 20 to 50% less. No, it's great marketing though. You know, they have a lot of really nice Waikiki commercials, but it's garbage, man.
I almost kind of feel like that, like the same way about like New York City. Like if you actually be in like, you know, like a lot of the apartments are very expensive, but you like all like the pre-World War II buildings, it's like the roofs leak, everything's steam heat, the heat's either on hot or cold. There's rats everywhere, and then everyone kind of treats it like it's like.
They pretend like they love it so much because
Yeah.
at least I'm in New York City.
Yeah, because
Right?
because it's like, but the thing is, like, there's like all this stuff to do, and then it's like, most of it's really like not really affordable.
That's exactly right. I mean, I remember before, I don't live in that city anymore, but, you know, we were like, oh, well, we're going to try to tough it out because it's so great to be in a big city like Honolulu or, you know, any big city. And we're like, okay, let's go to the museum. Can't afford it. Okay, let's go on like some of these clubs or any of these things. No, we can't afford anything. Like I couldn't afford the park in
Yeah.
like the Hilton Hawaiian Village, let alone
Oh yeah.
go to a restaurant. So,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
It's like, you know, it's like all like the clubs and like all this stuff to do. Like, I guess I shouldn't say that. Like in New York City, like you can almost kind of find things like just parks. The museum, a lot of the museums are kind of pay whatever you want. They're like donations. So I mean, like New York, you can go things like the Metropolitan. There's a recommended price if you can't pay it, you don't have to, which is kind of cool. So you know, I guess we have that. Jersey City's more affordable. Okay, so where am I going now?
so now I forget, did you do the paperwork? You did the paperwork.
Yeah.
So now you can try to leave. I think that's what you do. Yeah.
All right, exit. Time for some field work. There goes his arm.
All that pencil pushing has got my arm out.
I'll say this: Carl Carbon is me, but I was never a cop, and I never had a robot arm. I will say that.
Thing tuned up.
All right.
6 feet under triple.
Yeah, I know. It's like the cop thing. It's like kind of like, you know, it is cliche. It's kind of like you have like Decker from like Blade Runner. That's kind of like, you know, Decker was like, you know, he's like an ex-cop, but I've retired. I don't do this no more, you know. It was kind of.
But then he's doing it again.
But then he's doing it again more. But they haul him back one more because he needs the money to retire. So it's like, yeah, they pushed him in. It's like. It's like, you know, it's like the classic anti-hero. It's like you really don't want to feel good. This guy's obviously a bad guy.
Yeah,
but he's a
I didn't want
protagonist.
the main character. I didn't want the main character, Carl Carbon, to be a cop. I had that thought, but I was like, I don't want it to be a cop because there's so many cops.
Yeah.
You know, he's ostensibly doing the opposite, trying to help people as opposed to trying to like kill them and throw them
Yeah.
into, you know, the slave
But
labor
it's,
facility.
but it's obviously like it's like the point where it's obviously like it's like to the point where it's almost like I can relate to this. He kind of like, even if he quit cops or he's out bad from the police, he still reeks of being a cop. So
Yeah, you definitely, some things don't die hard. Huh?
okay. So there's a screwdriver here somewhere. Okay, screwdriver. Where are you, screwdriver? Let's check chat real quick.
Give you a hint, yeah, you got to check all the cabinets.
Okay, all the cabinets.
Did you check all the cabinets?
Okay.
That's me, my ex-wife Jewel, and little Joey. This was ages ago, before I got kicked off the force. Burnt a lot of bridges, didn't you, Mr. Carbon? You can't go home again.
Very much 80s brooding anti-hero. Classic.
Oh hey, bingo.
You got to have something
There's
to
that stupid olive oil.
boot about.
You do. Oh, you definitely do.
Also, I'm still married. I was never divorced, so that's different too.
Yeah, I mean, like it's fiction. You have to kind of all the cabinets. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, well, I'm looking for a screwdriver. Looking for a screwdriver in the video game, which is I know this is not
Hey,
my
check
desk.
check-
I know this is not my desk because I always have the screwdriver within like kind of like arm's reach at like all times. So, gotta find a screwdriver in the video game. I take it like one of these is just kind of not gonna. No, it's not gonna gonna work. I have to go find a screwdriver in the video game. All the cabinet, all the drawers. You'd have the screwdriver in a door.
I think maybe the paperwork. There might be one more piece of paperwork you didn't click on.
Okay.
So that's where my screwdriver.
Oh, it's buried under the blizzard.
The blizzard.
Ah. Oh boy, this is. Okay. Actually, no. What's it called? Opposites. You do opposite sides. So they do screws. Well, I'm like futzing with this digital arm. Does anybody in chat like have any questions for Silver Spook? Any comments about this game? And give any pointers or just want to yell at something? Just yell at something. Just say it in chat. Okay. So all the screwdrivers are tight. So let's try. Okay. Start taking this apart. I hope I never actually have to do this with my own arm. It's like you have no idea. I have like a whole like just desk full of stuff, and half of it's taken apart. And if I had to do it on my own arm, I wouldn't be. Here we go. One last screw.
Yeah. This part isn't like a very difficult puzzle, but it's just kind of like to give you the feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I have to go through this manual labor with no, I don't have any, it's kind of people like, like I was saying, it's kind of like a lot of fantasy in Cyberpunk. It's like, I'll be able to like punch through walls with this awesome arm. I have like laser guns coming out of my forearm. I can like, do all these amazing things, but people don't think about, in the real world, there's a lot of people that are augmented cyborgs, but they're like missing legs because they got it shot off in a rock, or other things are disabled. And their stuff breaks all the time. And
exactly.
I don't know if you noticed, but healthcare sucks in the United States. And,
oh, it's absolutely, it's absolutely like terrible. I mean, it's just kind of, it's like, fortunately with like this COVID stuff, I mean, fortunately we have a governor who's not a complete idiot. But there's some places like, yeah, we'll reopen, and like nobody has health care, and you're like, well, that sucks. Go back to work and get COVID. And, and like, not only are you going to go back to work and get COVID, it's just everyone's like, yeah, the economy. It's like, I'm almost thinking this really like almost like sounds like a grindcore song here. Die for the economy. Like, if that doesn't,
Omaha Beach,
if that doesn't really become like a grindcore, like hardcore punk song, like after this, then punk is dead. Like, die for the economy. Just literally, that's just literally they said that. Die for the economy.
Yeah, I just looked at it today. There's 3,600 people died. It's like over 1.5 9/11s what the people died today.
Yeah.
COVID.
And it's just like another day. It's another like Tuesday. It's like the three most deadly days in U.S. history have been like last week. And then, you have people who like, just like don't take this like seriously. Okay, caps off. Mm. Oh, there's actual paperwork in my gears. I mean, that's funny. I'm sorry. Try it out.
You've ever had to work in an office, government or corporate,
Okay, red tape is literally gumming up my works, my life in a nutshell. Okay, that's great. All right, so a little extra virgin. I mean, as far as like light duty oil goes, I mean, oil's oil. I mean, like extra virgin olive oil. It's not bad. I mean, it's, better temperature resistance than most other cooking oils. You remember like a zipper on clothes that gets stuck, they actually say just use some extra virgin olive oil.
Yep. Yeah, I think I might have borrowed that from this show. Is it Being Human? It's the one where Carl Urban plays a cop. I don't know if you saw that one. His robot friend.
No, okay. So how do I put the olive oil?
The olive oil, and then you gotta like put the thing back together, I think. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of screwdrivers, what's it called? Roommate, actually, Sidepocket needs a screwdriver. So over here. He doesn't have a cybernetic arm. He has some other stuff to repair in this house because everything here in this apartment is just like literally broken. Everything creaks. The heat's either all on or all off, and we're always putting stuff back together. Okay, so I have the hand. Okay, where's... Okay, so right click, left click. Okay, so how do I put down the olive oil?
Okay, you click on the hand, I think.
Okay, so here we go. There we go. Caps back on. Okay. It's as tight as it will get. How about, what's it called? Right between all my denied vacation requests, my dismissed workers' comp applications, and my lost faith in civilization. Alright, time to do some field work. This definitely looks like,
I got an address, 306 Sunrise Apartments. Yeah, this is one of those mixed species, mixed income community building places. Thing is, community ain't exactly building according to code here. Looks like a cross between the projects, a Rio Favela, and Burning Man.
so who...
I don't see any room numbers, no directories, not even a single listing on cheapapartments.com. This place is totally off grid.
So who does the voice acting? Is this, do you do like all the voice acting? Do you have like some other people, like, you know, like you get your friends to come in?
Particle board.
Yeah, so on NeoFeud, I did about, I mean, in total lines, it's about 76,000 lines of, 76,000 words dialogue. I did about half of it, but most of it is main character, Carl Carbon. That is me, you know.
Okay.
You know, 6 Sunrise Apartment. Yeah, I do that guy, and I do another main character, like one of the delinquent kids, and I did like a handful of the side characters. The other main characters are nobody's like a big name. It just you know, I brought some folks on to do the rest of it. Yeah, so, but the main character is me for sure.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, I was just like asking, like, you know, it's, you know. So NeoFeud 2 is coming. You're working on NeoFeud 2.
Yes, yeah.
So tell me about NeoFeud 2. So tell me about, like... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so NeoFeud 2 is a lot like NeoFeud in many ways, but it's happening, you know, it's, what is it? It's closer to the Altered Carbon, if you know what that is, in the sense of it's not set on Earth, but a lot of the issues that are dealt with are very similar. I was trying to like, I mean, one of the things that some people didn't like, some people liked the art style, some people didn't like it as much. So I was trying to make it a little bit more consistent, but it's a game that is dealing with a lot of similar issues, but it's dealing more in an interstellar situation or interplanetary situation. Yeah, but it's and also it goes to more areas. Most of NeoFeud kind of takes place within the kind of urban kind of hellscape sort of sprawl, but then NeoFeud 2 goes to a variety of other areas, like, you know, other parts that are more like Cuba, or other parts that are like different from, let's say, United States city imploding crappy places. So that's NeoFeud 2. It's well, I could talk about it for a long time, but yeah, that's basically it.
All right, cool. I guess we'll come back to that a little more. I just want to say, next drawing for NeoFeud Deluxe Edition, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everyone, stay tuned. hang out, and hopefully I will be doing some more virtual cyber work, and hopefully
Okay.
You get that box open, hack the smart grid thingy, so as we can get free electricity. Do it, and then I'll think about informing you as to Todd and Suzette's whereabouts, sir.
If it's just a matter of breaking into the box and hotwiring it, why don't one of you tenants just take a pair of bolt cutters up there and do it yourself?
all right.
We would, but the smart grid just means that it knows when someone who ain't supposed to be fiddling with it is. Garcia tried last week, and the box sent a bazillion volts of electro juice straight through his chassis. Chicken fried his circuit boards, and he fell 4 stories, broke into a dozen burnt pieces on the methane well down below. Bless his soul. We recovered what was left of his soul drive, his consciousness, on a flash stick, but he's literally half the robot he used to be.
That's
Sounds
insane.
like breaking into that box is signing your own death warrant. Lady, I ain't that desperate.
Thing is, you, Mr. Carbon, have Coastlandia government ID. The smart grid is smart, but not that
Okay, I see.
You put in your ID, it'd be thinking you on official business.
Except, if anyone calls up the history on that power meter, they'll find my Gov ID as the most recent access. I'm not big on prison.
When you hack the box, it should delete the history, theoretically. It is a risk, no doubt, but it should be no sweat for a scruffy Denzel Washington-looking cop like yourself.
Hey, I am not scruffy. And I'm not a cop, damn it.
If you say so.
I guess I don't have a choice, huh? Lucky me.
Lucky you, Mr. Social Worker. You get a chance to actually help those in need, like your mandates say.
Your blackmail skills were all the inspiration I needed.
Alright, so.
Bye.
Oh, one more thing. This here is Garcia's hacked chip. You'll need to take out the one inside the power box and replace it with this. A little melted around the edges from when the anti-tampering mechanism cooked him, but it should fit just fine.
Hacked cartridge added to inventory. Have you followed this Twitter account called Internet of Shit?
Internet of shit. I think I've heard of it.
It's just it's a Twitter account that just kind of. It's what's it called? It's just like dedicated to like all like kind of like the Internet of Things, like kind of.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's just like because a lot of people like in tech self included really just don't like all this Internet of Things because of like you have. All this smart thing really doesn't add anything, and then it's just more spying on you, more spyware, more crapware, and then like your fridge tries to connect to the internet and it fails because it's computers, and then you don't have a fridge, or like Cory Doctorow gets into that with like unauthorized bread that like kind of the whole point of the story is like you have, it's kind of the it's kind of like the toaster oven that only cooks bread that's baked from the same company that made the toaster, because it's intellectual property.
Yeah.
And like the whole story is like the main character can hack like everything, but it's like they live in like a slum apartment, and the landlord gets gets all the appliances for cheap just because it's there's a discount on the appliances because they expect you to buy like only authorized bread. But like what happens if you have this pre-furnished like apartment, and then the toaster company goes out of business and you can't buy authorized bread. And that's like the story.
Exactly.
And like that's like literally the story, and that's kind of like how like DRM and like lock-in. It's like some like startup has like this whiz bang stuff, and then like they go out of business because they're startup people, and then like what about the other people who like live here, and then you have electronic waste. Enter Genius brand. Smart apparently can also repair themselves. Oh wow, it looks like a Sega Genesis. Oh, that's great. That's absolutely great. Hey, Sidepocket, you're seeing this? It looks like a Sega. It's a Sega Genesis logo.
A glass window.
Yeah, I put that in there for all the people between 33 and 40 years old. They're gonna get that one.
Yeah, which is like the good thing about cyberpunk, right? Like especially like old like stuff is like in the 80s, like like there was no actual branding and anything. The one thing I actually love about media from the 80s, there was no actual branding like before branding took over, and then like all the branding was in there was like literally like a parody of everything, right? It's like you play Shadow Warrior, it's like the construction companies like just one thing, there's like a bulldozer instead of a Mitsubishi, it's a Titsubishi. Um, but let's attempt to break the glass. Okay, so attempt
You
to,
try to break the glass. It'll be fun. I promise.
yeah, like 1.21 gigawatts of volts. Attempt to break the glass. Why not? Let's see what happens. Let's go. Boom.
Damn. This window must be made of sapphire glass.
This is the fun part.
Stuff is harder than diamond.
Damn it on
and
the
low.
most scale.
So tough it'll actually dent a sledgehammer. I'm better off trying to cut the locks.
Cut the locks.
Warning. You are illegally tampering with government property.
Oh shit! No. I'm a government employee. Officially officiating. Yep, you're nice and solid and theft deterring. All right.
Continued infractions detected. As a pseudo-sentient artificial consciousness, I am hereby authorized.
What? No.
I'm sorry. There was a flight miscalculation in the elevation
Yep,
measures.
internet is shit.
Medical personnel have been alerted and will be arriving shortly. Thank you for choosing M Genius. Have a nice day.
Yep, that's like internet is shit. It's like your fridge just doesn't work. You have like your Amazon Ring character. It's like it's talking to the police and like.
Yeah, I just that that animation took like several days, so I was like, yeah.
I like that. You ever play this game called there's a few games with good. You ever play what's it called? Rise of the Triad. 1993 came out like about a week after Doom, so it was kind of like eclipsed. But it's like you had like this like flame weapon, and it just kind of had like similar animations. Can't use.
Oh yeah, Rise of the Triad. Yeah, for sure. That was a classic. Oh, somebody asked a question. Should I answer that right now?
Okay, go ahead. Question for NeoFeud. Will there be a native Linux version, and what are obstacles to creating that? As much as like I have kind of like like fun, at least for me, like half the fun of this is like kind of half the fun if you run Arch Linux, especially. It's kind of get used to like playing Linux on hard mode. Half the fun for me, especially you say you're a nerd, you enjoy tinkering with stuff, so you don't mind having like your main rig being like Arch Linux or poking it to work. But there's some people who actually want their Linux box to work just like a Windows box and want things to just work, including having like game ports like on native Linux ports. So, do you have for these people? Do you have a native Linux port in the works, or is there any like obstacles to getting that to work?
Yeah, so native Linux port, like AGS does like export to Linux, so there should be a Linux version on the itch.io site. So I mean, I mean, if that's what you mean, I mean, it's like it exports officially to Linux. It's not a wine or anything, so I think there is one already. If that's the question.
Okay, I mean, so for example, like when you have like Steam, like I'm playing the Windows version like on Steam. It's like,
Okay.
Like and you're like uploading like the Linux version to like Steam, so people who like buy the game can like just download the Linux version on Steam. I mean, because like I don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, because like my fans think it's entertaining to watch me kind of go, that doesn't work, and they just like watch me like scratch my noggin. And that's why they're here, to watch me scratch my noggin and like get video game to like work on Arch, because it's it's kind of oddity, but like most people just like would like a native version. So
Yeah, I guess I could look into uploading it for Steam. Like, I mean, one of the things was like there were like some technical requirements, and I was like, you have to be able to like the tech support stuff, and I was like, I don't have enough systems, and like I have an ancient version of Windows, so I was like, I don't feel confident giving the level of tech support Steam kind of like needs. So that was kind of like one of the barriers. I'm still running kind of like old computers, and I don't have like a up to date Linux or really the time to do that.
Okay, so
But,
if so here's the thing is that like I take on like a million projects. If you're really serious, like you want to get this on Linux, Linux is free. I mean, like you can download like Ubuntu desktop. There's like no cost in doing that. You can run it in a virtual machine. If you need something like an old laptop to fuss around with this, let me know. Like after this is done, let me know. I'll help you. If you will put the time and effort in, I will help you trying to get this working on Linux if you want. I like taking like on like oddball projects like this. I mean, it's entirely up to you.
Yeah. Thanks for the offer. I mean, it's something like I definitely like. I feel like I wanted to try to do as much as I can, but I also kind of like have to like pay rent and stuff. Like I would love to.
That's absolutely fair. It was just a question thrown in chat. Just absolutely a question. I mean, it runs just so everybody knows in chat it runs well enough in Steam under with Proton. So Steam Proton, you just go find one of the Protons. I think it's like the latest non-GE one. Works. But I hope whoever asked that one, I hope that answers your question. So let's try to get this power meter back to game. Let's try to get this power meter open. I can't use these together. Okay. Huh. Oh.
A glass window.
Time to break the glass. No.
Better not. The last guy got fresh energy.
Yeah, probably wouldn't want to try that again.
Yeah, gotta get a Darwin Award. Darwin Awards are great. Huh. Let's see. Let's explore here. Let's see what else is around here.
Yeah, I think you can walk down to the edge there.
Hey, anybody home? Nothing. Hey, anybody home? Nothing. Hey, anybody home?
Yeah, I think I'll give you a hint. Yeah, it's something on the second level.
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So there we go. Okay, she looks interesting.
Okay, well this character, I also play this character, and this character is based on my students.
Okay.
Why the hell does everyone think I'm a cop? Am I wearing a name tag that says, "Hi, I'm your friendly plainclothes police officer"?
No, bro. You just straight reeking of that Bruce Willis vibe. You know what I'm saying, nigga?
No, I can relate to that, right?
The draggled, receding hairline and shit.
So like I was in the military for 9 years, right? So it's like I got out like at a point, and then everyone just would be like, "Yeah, It's just basically everyone would think I was a cop because like most of the cops in my area were kind of like literally dudes my age who were also like ex-military. A lot of people I actually served with.
Hey, I'm a cop, remember?
So
maybe I'm behind on my robo-thug gangbanger arrest quota. Maybe I report your hacking of cigarette AI and illegal cancer-inducing levels of cigarette consumption.
LMAO, dog. That be your best blackmail? Really? One, I be all Metallica up inside my respirators, so I can't catch no black lung cancer shit. And B, them dwanky Coastlandia government don't give two cyber shits if we robos get AIDS and die, or whatever. Less mouths to feed, less batteries to charge.
You got a big mouth on you for a ghetto bot boy, I'll give you that. Smart ass.
Okay.
Imagine 30 of that kid yelling at you, what do I got to learn about the Constitution? Get out of my face. I'm the $1 billion baller all day long.
Jesus, man. That's got to be rough.
It was rough. Like, I got a lot of gray hair from those 10 years.
All right.
I was teaching it's like a competency-based diploma program for like 16 to 21-year-olds who dropped out. Like half of them were like literally in gangs and 16 and pregnant. And so that's what that character is.
Yeah, I've met enough of those. I've met enough of those characters, but
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's exactly the same though. I really wouldn't.
But yeah, so you gotta figure out. There's something in the wall. I'll give you that hint.
Big ass hole. You know, there's actually a fan company that makes fans called Big Ass Fans. Like they make those 20-foot diameter ceiling fans, and they're literally called Big Ass Fans.
Hello, anybody home? No dice. Hello, anybody home?
All right, something on the wall here. Junk box. All right, here we go.
It's literally something in the wall, yeah.
They say toasters are actually the most intelligent of machines, and we want to murder humans in their sleep. Oh, this toaster's a Cylon brand. Okay, there's your Battlestar Galactica. That's hilarious. Last gen hype tech cyber arm. He's even older than his. They launched this thing with the mirror of Tron 3 when Dayglow was trendy, hotter than an antimatter bomb in the desert. Internet just go hashtag internet is shit. I mean, if anybody follows internet is shit, you're gonna be losing your mind right now. Because this is like on par. It's like, you know, it's like, you know, your toaster malfunctions because it's like plugged in, and then like the company goes under and blah blah blah. These techno hipsters are sold out. Pre-orders version 2. That literally seems about on brand here.
What is
Circle jump.
I did write this about 10 years ago, so
yeah,
I guess it was still happening then.
Yeah, there's still. I mean, like, you know, it's like the whole like the singularity, and like it's like for like some like. It's almost to say that there's like even in the tech scene, there's kind of a divide really, between you have like the people who are kind of like the older millennials and kind of Gen X who did this, and then there's kind of the people who are younger millennials who really like weren't really there in the 80s and the 90s, and they just kind of they saw the whole thing happening. They're like the only thing they care about tech is like, yeah, I'm gonna make like a whole F ton of money off of this, right? And then it's like they catch like all the buzzwords and the singularity and like, you know, like, oh, augmented humans is going to be so cool. And then you deal with all these assholes on forums for decades. And then it's just like, you're like, dude, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah, definitely. That was a lot of inspiration. I literally had friends who were like in like Singularity University or, you know, some of the transhumanists who were like, Silicon Valley entrepreneurship is going to lead us all to freedom and cure cancer and solve poverty, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just kind of like, you guys are not, this is not going to work out the way you think, you know?
Yeah, it's like the one big thing I really hate about like Silicon Valley. It's like I really hate it because like people talk about Silicon Valley. It's like all the tech came from Silicon Valley. It's like you know, like I kind of like as somebody who's like grew up in New Jersey, that kind of really resent that because a lot of the tech actually came from the East Coast. It's just that like we don't like. I mean, it's just that you have the Silicon Valley had like maybe one or two companies that actually did tech, and then you had like a million companies who were just really flashy. Like, because like Intel actually did technology, but you have like Apple. It's like, what did Apple really do? They just made consumer products out of like what was business products. I mean, or they made it accessible for consumers. And with that, they just kind of really put like a real consumerism that kind of like led to most of this, as opposed to people just tinkering. I mean, good and bad, but like a lot of the companies are just pure hype. You know, just really pure hype or just destructive. And like a lot of stuff that goes on, like specifically like the East Coast, like a lot of it's like Unix is from New Jersey. You have like a lot of stuff in MIT, Stanford, like or even say where's DC2 or run right here, smiling right from Jersey City, New Jersey. It's a sewer built on top of a landfill, but so like a lot of other places.
Anybody home?
And then of course before that there was like the Silicon Prairie in like Texas, that like again like Texas Instruments and companies like that. Cult of the Dead Cow is Cult of the Dead Cow because they what's it called? Because when they were still a BBS, they used to live right next to a slaughterhouse in Texas. Most famously, Beto O'Rourke used to be known as when he was known as Psychedelic Warlock used to be a member. So it was like a lot of places like besides like Silicon Valley that were kind of like more important to technology, but or even World Wide Web was invented in England and places like that. GNOME, what's it called? Linus Torvald was Icelandic, but he invented Linux in the University of Helsinki. GNOME, the GNOME desktop is what you see here in the background if anyone's wondering. That was originally written by a Mexican, Miguel de Agaza. So it's like there's a lot of stuff from like around the world even that like where all this stuff like actually comes from, but like we got to hear like that like Silicon Valley is like this kind of serendipity. It's bullshit, and it's really like this real sanctimonious like shit that they think they invented everything. I really hate it, especially
if you get up at 4 a.m, like Jeff and Elon and Mark Zuckerberg, and you work all day long and you take your what is that Soylent Green or whatever they drink?
Oh no, I actually
or the blood of virgins. Like
it's great because like the total lack of awareness of these people is like we're gonna take something that comes from a dystopian movie like Soylent Green is about a movie where they literally break down people into like Soylent Green is people. Is he under the Crusher thing? It's the environmental is screwed, farming is dead, so everyone drinks this stuff called Soylent. And then they're like, yeah, it's from a dystopian government, which is just like this is like the bare minimum because like actual food is just for rich people. And the whole point of the movie, it's a dystopia. It's a pre-cyberpunk dystopia. It's an early dystopian science fiction movie. But the whole point of it, it's a bad thing. I actually drink Soylent though. I actually have to try it because like. It's like I said, it's like $3 a bottle, and it's, especially like I started drinking it like I had like literally it's just one job overnight. This job pays something like just a shit low paying job. Like working in a data center, overnight shift, 11 hours overnight shift in a data center, basically hurting porn. No, like I worked in a data center that basically did porn, right? So midnight shift, there's no one else in the data center. The whole building, the first closest human beings, like 2 miles away. If you want to know what this place looks like a factory, it's right underneath the Lincoln Tunnel to go to New York, right like in Weehawken. So it's like down the big spirally thingy, over the thing of grass. It looks like an industrial substation, but it's not. It's a data center, and they hold terabytes, and I mean like probably petabytes and petabytes of porn in there. So I work for this company hosting porn. It's insane. There's like just like a whole bunch of like other old burnt out punk rockers are there, and just as like the text, the owner is basically has this agreement with some porn company I'm not going to name, but has famous for driving the bus around. I think everyone knows what that one is. So they had a Miami office where they were headquarters, and that company worked out of the Miami office, but we worked in New Jersey. Fun fact about New Jersey, we consume about the most amount of porn of any state in the nation. The state is literally full of wankers. I mean, it's just literally, effing literally. So this is where I work, overnight shift, losing my mind. I'm not living in Jersey City at this point. I'm living further west, so it's a 45-mile commute. My only car I had for a while is like the same beat-up Ford Focus. It doesn't really work, so I'm commuting on my motorcycle. Right, this is this beat-up old Victory Kingpin. It's like this 2006 Victory Kingpin I bought off a buddy for again like $2,000. And this if it's one of those, if it starts raining, the bike will just shut off. So it gets cold, whatever. The thing still runs better than the car does. So I'm not taking the car to work. So I have to take this bike there, back. It's cold, doesn't matter. Still got to go. And then every day, you literally have the office manager would come in screaming. Finds me to scream with you. It's this big 6'3" Long Island, Italian Long Islander, Italian Staten Islander, who's again a born again Christian, and absolutely hates porn. So it's like you think, right? It's like one of those you absolutely effing think, right? And I remember like one time, it's like I'm just like working on this like. I'm working on like this website. It's like a tube site. It's what's it called, for not straight actors, because like most of it was straight, but we had some transgender and some gay stuff. So not straight, and he had a lot of, so he had like what's it called? So I have like these two big, like really huge 30-inch Apple monitors that somebody else left there. Somebody quit and they bought these, so they just left there. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm taking these, sets them up on my desk, and then like my desk faces a wall. So he gets in first thing in the morning. I'm near the end of my shift. Middle of the night, I have this porn director, calls up furious. He needs like SSL enabled on his site right this second, right? He can't wait till the daytime, can't wait till whatever. He's like, okay, here's the certs. I put in all the certs. It doesn't work. For whatever reason, it doesn't work because there's a few hard-coded paths in the proprietary PHP algorithm. So I'm making absolutely crap pay. I'm basically reverse engineering PHP, like proprietary PHP. So what they do is they kind of encode it like malware. This is just the way to look at it. Encode it like malware, so you just can't look at the codes. I have to de-encode it, and I have to grab where all these paths are. I have to change them to make sure they all work with HTTPS. Middle of the night, no one else. Every 15 minutes, this guy's screaming at me on the phone. He's coked out of his mind. So I'm stuck on the front page, reloading it over and over and over again, right? Over. And it's the same video. Just the same effing video I'm watching over and over and over again. So this guy, so you work for a porn company, right? This is work related. One giant Apple monitor. I have, this same video, like of two men going at it, right? Same video, right? Over and over again. 6 in the morning, he walks in, hovers his face right over my shoulder. Hey, you're watching porn? And I'm like, so I had to turn around and it's like, what do you think I'm doing? It's like you forget.
Oh my god. That's cyberpunk,
No, I guess it is. It is. This is my life. This is kind of like what I do.
You are a cyberpunk life. I've heard all day.
Yeah. So like here I am, like sitting now. I'm in a better place now, and then like I'm just like in a mountain of like various parts. I have various old computers and broken laptops and like whatever. And like that's just okay. So like he turns around. He goes like. So I go, yeah, it's porn. And he's taking it back, like this guy talked back to me, like, yeah, I'm watching this porn. He's like, is that work related? And I'm like, what do you think I'm doing? What do you really think I'm doing here?
And it's paying you to do this?
No, it's after I have this coked out porn director screaming at me every 15 minutes on the phone. Is this work related? Oh, come on.
Oh my gosh. It looks like you're supposed to do a drawing for the second winner.
All right, so it's 9 o'clock. We're doing a drawing for the second winner. Drum roll, please. All right, second winner. Do we have a second winner? There's no winners here. There's no winners. Winners don't vape. All right, so we're looking for the second winner. I'm going to go figure out what's in the wall. Okay, junk box. Okay, so I guess the thing is kind of too old. You can't grab this junk can and scrap it for parts.
I'll give you a hint. It's something green.
Okay, something green. All right, let's look for something green. Junk stuffs. Okay. Big ass hole. Fluorescent green ooze. It's just predator blood. All right.
It's the other green thing.
There's a lot of green things on the wall here.
It's the other oozy thing. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. It makes sense because you're looking for Somebody's been Breaking Bad around here. Crack in the wall. Okay. All right, can opener time.
I'm still gonna need that cigarette, kid.
Popo, you got bugs up in your meat brains? I already told you no.
Well, son, see, I got this big fat vial of mithium. Really goddamn illegal mithium narcotics. Mithium that you just tried to hustle to me, a cop, because you're just that flacking stupid. The judge will buy the stupid angle, too. And since you're a minority species robot, in the drug war 2.0, automatic conviction.
You can't.
Can't what? Hey, maybe I plant the powder in your underwear with my anti-robot taser.
You flacking son of a...
Just try me, playa. If I'm tripping up your swag, no one will miss another wannabe toaster gangbanger. Just try me. Give me an excuse to short those idiotic circuits of yours.
Ah, flag. Fine, Popo. Take the fracking cig.
Thanks. And remember, kid, winners don't use drugs. Oh, and stay in school.
Oh God.
Oh, that's nice.
Another case of, like, I can use my power. It's unclear whether he would have actually, sent the kid to prison.
Okay, so we're gonna stop right here. Congrats, Commander Root. You've won the NeoFeud Digital Deluxe Edition. So, Commander Root, good job, man. What's it called? You've got another. Yeah, what's it called? You got another copy. If this game goes on another 2 hours, we'll do another drawing.
Actually, I probably have to be heading out shortly. So.
Okay, so I guess we're not running that late. All right, so something fishy about the radio, huh? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. All right, so let's actually try getting this. Oh, cool. That's great. It's one of those silly point-and-click adventure games. But you're above that. Oh.
I don't know if you ever, yeah.
I used to play some like the games on Newgrounds like back in the day. So this do you remember Newgrounds.com? Do you remember like all the fun like that was? Like now that they're retiring Flash in about a month, I have to say something about Newgrounds. If you remember like kind of they had like all like the Flash portal and they had like
I better take the stairs first.
Yeah. Newsgrounds. I remember I did play a bunch of that back in the early '90s. I remember it was pretty popular. Those are good days. If you want to solve we could probably get through potentially solving that.
Okay, so let's do this. I walk downstairs.
Genius box.
Yeah. Okay, so where do we go from here?
There's nothing else downstairs. You got to go back up to. You got the cigarette. Look in your inventory again.
Okay, so I got the cigarette.
Cigarette, and you need let's see. Yeah. What you need is you need to get your flamethrower thing functioning again.
Okay.
So you need a cigarette. And I think then you need something from that. Maybe check your flamethrower thingy.
So lights the torches, fuel.
So you need oxygen and something to ignite the torch. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. Oh.
So you need something to stick it together. Yeah.
Huh. I don't think I.
Yeah, you use it is the wallet, but yeah, you got to use it on the.
Oh yeah, because it's duct tape wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, the Koch Walton Bank. That's great. That's great.
Great guys.
He. Okay, so now I just need I need some fuel.
Yeah. So it's somewhere back on the main screen, not in this area. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back out of here. Ooh.
Excuse me? That'd be my happy guess there. What you want with it?
I'm on a 2 for my OxyZeph blowtorch. I need 99.995% pure oxygen, and you've got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but I better not catch you huffing that O2.
All right, let's do this. Well, I've got the oxygen.
Yeah. So now it should be working.
Oh yeah.
Nice. The oxyacetylene torch is working, burning hot enough to cut tungsten.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. You head back up there. It's upstairs. Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Huh.
Great.
Better not. The last guy got fresh with an Energinius.
Yeah, don't do that. What was it over here?
All All right, so I've selected.
I think you have to use your. Remember they said you have to use your government ID. Yeah, I think you have to do that first.
Oh, there
And
we
then,
go.
yeah, I think you use that on the.
Damn. Looks like my card worked, but the mag locks aren't disengaging. Guess I'll have to MacGyver my way in there.
Now you can use your torch.
There we go. Yes, we are cooking with fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
A glass window.
Yeah, I think you gotta grab the broken lock part. Yeah.
The last guy got fresh with an energy.
Okay, lock part.
Kind of like the crack on the bottom of the door. I think.
This is how this normally goes if you do this IRL. Once you cut something open. Oh, yeah, that's, wow. You know.
You just use your hand on the bottom of it.
Okay, so like IRL, this is why I have this thing right here. This is how you open like fucking shit. But
Oh yeah. True. That would work. Yeah.
I mean, that's like specifically that. It's just whatever. Maglock right here. Like to tip off if I try it. Blowtorch would come in handy though. Oh, okay, well.
You should be able to use your hand on that. Yeah.
Huh.
Like on the on the crack part. Yeah. It says maglock.
Okay, there we go. Oh wow, there's a cartridge in it. Oh, this is great. Default cartridge. The Genius Box. That's awesome. It's just like loading a Sega Genesis. That's fucking.
Put your hack Sega Genesis cartridge in too.
Yes. I hope she's appreciative that like I literally got fried from this. I had to deal with like some kid and
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
yeah.
You've got free energy until Coastlandia runs out, or they figure you're stealing power from the grid and toss you into a recycle bin.
Well, I gotta say, we all sure is grateful.
Okay, now about the silicas.
Okay.
As much as the goodwill of your favela tenants is appreciated, I'd appreciate keeping my job even more.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes of course. The Silica's unit is at the end of this level.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I just have an update from Co-Founder Sidepocket that Cyberpunk 70, the PlayStation version of Cyberpunk 77 is so broken it's being yeeted out of the store. Well, just to let you know, Fendelman, this point-and-click adventure is not broken and it works, and it's not being taken out of Steam Store. So,
Hey.
I think the most Cyberpunk thing about like Cyberpunk 77 is just how broken it is. It's how is this both broken it's how is this broken corporate pile of crap. I think that's the most Cyberpunk thing about the game.
Yeah, it is. Definitely, definitely Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. Well, thanks for the tip, Grandma.
Remember, 678-751.
Do I have to remember that? Probably.
You forget it, you can get it again, but you can drop it in a those numbers down somewhere, it can help you. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I know we said like you were gonna like were you gonna rate out? But because I probably have to get going. I got
Okay.
some
Okay. So we're gonna rate
stuff to
out.
do.
Yes, we're gonna go rate out. So if you have to get going, let me pause here. Let me make this screen bigger. What's it called? Silver Spook's got to go. I'd say we had we made it a good stream. Any last questions? Any last questions for Silver Spook before we go? Any last questions about NeoFeud? Any last questions about the show?
So Silver Spook leaving, or
yes, Silver Spook is leaving.
are you gonna end the stream, or what are you doing?
Yeah, just give us 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
It's on now.
Okay, so gentlemen, we have what's it called? We have any last questions? We have one last drawing for Cyberpunk for what's it called? NeoFeud Deluxe Edition. One last drawing. Roll the dice. While that's going on, any questions for Silver Spook? Any questions, comments, anything? Post it in the chat now.
Oh, we're waiting for that. I just want to say, again, thanks a lot, GI Jack, for reaching out and to the DEFCON folks. Thanks for playing the game and grabbing it and supporting it. We really do, grassroots actual punk support that we can, because
So it's
a lot of money.
So it's like I said, it's not just that. What's it called? Go buy the go get a copy of the game. Hope you do more. I hope the rest of you also get a lesson. It's just also don't be afraid. Everyone, I hope to try making your own video games. So if you're really sick of just like more like corporate misadventures, okay. One question: NeoFeud 2 when? Snow Crash wants to know. NeoFeud 2 when?
NeoFeud 2 when? NeoFeud, I wanted to get it done like this year. I'm working on kind of too many things at one time, but I'm aiming for 2021. Like as of now, I'm like definitely like trying to get it done in 2021. I'm currently releasing that. When I was talking about the Deus Ex Total Conversion I made, the sequel to that, which I'm also working on at the same time, is kind of splitting my time a bit. That's coming out in February or March. It's called. I'll type it in the chat because it's hard to remember. It's called Terminus Cyberstar. That should be slated for March or February or March of 2021, and NeoFeud 2 by winter 2021. I don't have any release dates though, so sorry, but
coolness.
Yeah.
Awesome. But anyways, coming up we have one last raffle. Everybody stay tuned. We have one last raffle of NeoFeud Deluxe Edition. Just remember, unlike Cyberpunk 77, this game actually works.
Cyberpunk 2077. Go ahead. What's that?
All right. So any more closing remarks? Well, we wait for the last drawing.
Again, like if you've watched this stream so far, and if you've played the game NeoFeud, again, this is a game it's a cyberpunk adventure game. I wanted it to be kind of reflecting and updated for the present, dealing with the inequalities, social, political, and economic in the reality. In the way I think that if you're gonna call it cyber with a punk at the end, just call it cyber suit. If you're just gonna make some kind of entertaining but not really dealing with issues, sort of like CD Projekt Red's game.
Yeah.
So I kind of want the word, because I do label it on Steam and on Itch and everywhere else cyberpunk, and I don't want it to just be like cyberpunk is when you do Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty with some neon and mohawks and flying cars and robot armed with Keanu Reeves wearing them. I want it to be like about resisting oppression, whether that's class. It deals with racism, it deals with police brutality, it deals NeoFeud centers around, you haven't gotten to it yet, but there's a very difficult scene where literal police kill innocent people, and then the tech companies help cover it up, and it's all, and it's a scene that is kind of like the core of what NeoFeud is about, where the violence should not, I feel like in cyberpunk the violence should not just be fun and cool all the time. It should also kind of reflect the real world's violence, like what a lot of the Black Lives Matter, Occupy Wall Street, and a lot of what people are upset about legitimately in the society. Also, it shouldn't be transphobic, which CD Projekt Red has had a lot of problems with. And I feel like that's what NeoFeud is. And NeoFeud is Silver Spook Games is basically me and my partner. But I did basically the art. I did most of the work on NeoFeud, and NeoFeud 2. I'm doing most of it. Terminus Cyberstar is a DM-sized team, but we're trying to make these games, as equitably as well. We don't have huge corporations with billionaires at the top of them, unlike CD Projekt. And so all the support, whether it's just sharing this game if you can't afford it or you don't play these kind of games, it really does help. Just playing the game as you guys have done. I feel like that's really a lot of what the punk ethos and a lot of the hacker ethos as well.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely,
Thanks so much for having me on.
What's it called? Thanks for coming on our show. One of these days we will do this show where I will actually get the audio visual right. So far, it always seems to elude me. So, last drawing. All right. Okay, so apparently due to technical difficulties, it's not being posted in chat. The last one is Snow Crash underscore Snow Crash underscore 1 is the all right, so Snow Crash underscore. Yeah, it's one of those. Snow Crash underscore. You've won the final NeoFeud giveaway. Congratulations, man. Thank you for everybody coming out. And this is the point where I put the tunes on and we fade to black.
All right, everybody.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good one, Stace. Stay punked.
What?
Okay.
I already did that.
All right. So I gotta go, but I'll see you around on the social media. Thanks again for having me on. Cool.
Vega. Banger.
Welcome to the art of trolling. Trolling is an art form. Trolling is innately going to piss some people off. Trolling is Trolling is innately gonna piss some people off. Zero accountability is absolutely vital. Trolls are heavy contributors to cultural values. Trolling is an art. They use the internet. 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 They use the internet.
I did not expect it to be accepted. Trolling, trolling. Oh my god. Trolling, trolling. Oh my god. Oh my god. Trolling, trolling, trolling is a art. Trolling, trolling. Welcome to the art of trolling. None of them actually provided attribution, and this is a Creative Commons image.
At DEFCON, gave me the alias. Ginger hair, badass brainy chick. Had my vision all tunnel, trying to outstrip her software bundle. Echo anything she wanna hear. Mountain server in an open session right here at your gateway. It's no small token penetrate so deep you feel it in your colon. Yeah, that's straight me, no proxy. That agent can't copy my ID. You feel our sync, what's up with that IP? Forward is so authentic. Check the sum, receive what I expected. Practically tab complete the sentences. Listening, whispering, equip the messages. Pretty young privileged port, always prompt, like to take command line sort. That's my node, connection sharing disabled. Throwing away the IP table. This is our time to live, no doubt. Control path and the script was typed out. I don't ever wanted to connect time out. Never that, girl. I won't fail you. Let's take this trip on a transport, lay it back to Amsterdam. Nice off the hash with the global known host, set it off at the bash.